Next, Butt. Did I get that right? Butt? Okay, great. I wouldn't want to call Joe a butt because he's not. He's going to come up here and do his comedy routine. Joe Selcho.
It's a long ways up here. Oh, that's a German. Hello, hello, can you hear me? Let me tighten that thing up. You know, I've been
Okay there, Joe?
just
As far down as you can go. Is that okay?
that's okay. It's a Viagra thing you guys mentioned right away. You know, I looked around, you know, that Viagra, how expensive that is. I mean, it's, I know you guys all buy it. You know what it's made of? 25% aspirin and 75% Fix-A-Flat. And you guys paid that much money for it. Anyways, this mailman is retiring, you know, and he tells everybody Friday is my last day. I'm gonna be retiring. Comes back Friday, he finds a bottle of beer here, a bottle of wine, somebody gave him here, he knocks on the other door, gets another present, and he knocks on the last door, and there's a lady opens up the house, and she says, "Come on in, we're gonna have sex." Well, he looks, I said, "Go upstairs, take a shower, come on down." So they go up, take a shower, they do their thing, and they come down and sit down, have breakfast, eat breakfast, and he's on his way out, and she gives him $1. And he looks at her and says, "What's that dollar for?" Says, "You know, when I told my husband the mailman is retiring, he said, screw the mailman, give him $1. Breakfast was my own idea." And when you go, you know, think about history, where we came from, about, you know, all ladies, the women. You go back to the 1900s, you know, those days you could mail order a wife from the East Coast to the West Coast through the Sears catalog. So this farmer here in California orders himself a wife, and she comes out there, he goes to the train station to pick her up in his best horse and best buggy, picking up his new wife, and he's on the way home, sitting next to his new bride, really happy, and all of a sudden the horse stumbles. He said, "Okay, that's once." Goes another couple of miles, the horse stumbles again. So that's twice. Just about before they got to the farm, the horse stumbles again. And he goes, oh, he goes down, takes his .45, his pistol, shoots the horse right between the eye and kills it. And his new bride is going crazy. So, "What are you doing? Killing this horse? How are we going to get home? How are you going to..." And she says, "Okay, that's once." But then, you know, today, I seen that little old lady going down the street with 2 plastic bags. And she loses $20. Dollar bills out of that one bag. And the policeman moves over and says, "Lady, you're losing $20 bills here. What happened?" So, "Where'd you get it from?" Well, she says, "I live on a golf course. And these guys, they relieved themselves against my wall. So I go out there with my long knife and tell them, $20 or else. He said, what do you got in the yellow bag? He says, some guys don't pay. There's an old man in that streetcar that happened in Germany, sitting there and he bitching about the young people that they don't have no respect, no discipline for the older peoples anymore, just no bringing up. And this young man stands in front of him. He says, what are you bitching all about, old man? He says, I got up, I gave you my seat. He says, yes, you did, but says, my wife is still standing. And in the same streetcar, there was this punker, you know, those guys that got all green, red, blue hair, staying straight up. And this old man sitting right across from him, looking at him, staring at him. And this punker gets nervous. He said, what the hell are you looking at me for? Have you ever seen anything like this? He says, no, young man. He said, that's not what I'm thinking about. So about 20 years ago, I made love to a parrot, and I was wondering if you're my son. That's my friend. You know, he came to me one day, he says, I want to sell my car, I can't sell it. I said, why not? He said, it got 200,000 miles on it. So I tell him, go in the garage, close the garage door, and turn it back. But 2 weeks later, I run into him again. He says, did you sell the car yet? He says, no, why should I? I've only got 10,000 miles on it. And then I told him, listen, last night I drove by your house, your window was wide open, and I could see you making love to your wife. He says, ha. He says, I wasn't home, I was bowling. This 10-year-old boy asked his mom, he said, Mommy, what did you meet Daddy? She says, on the Phoenix Club on Oktoberfest. He says, was I there? He says, no, you wasn't there, but you went home with us. Okay. Oh, this one, I don't know if you can tell this one, but it's a true story. There's a bus, like you guys, going to Las Vegas, and all of a sudden, this little old lady comes in front of the driver and says, driver, there is somebody underneath the seat pulling on my pants. And she looks at us like, go ahead, sit down, there's nobody under the seats. A little while later, she comes up again and says, there is somebody underneath my seat pulling on my pants. Says, go sit down. And then she really got upset, comes up to, there is somebody there. And so he pulled over, and he's going to check underneath the seat. And he looks there, there's a little old man, looks like he's blind, crawling underneath the seats. And he said, what are you doing there? He says, I lost my hairpiece, and I got it 3 times, and then it got away from me. Oh well, one more thing. I think you guys know that one. It's always a nice one. Oma and Opa sitting by the fireplace, and she's knitting a pair of socks for Opa. When Oma says, Opa, if I pass away before you do, are you going to get married again? He looks and says, yeah. Says, you going to let her wear my mink coat? Says, yeah, you don't need it no more. And you're going to let her play with my golf clubs? No, he says, she's left-handed. But this one here, I got to cut with that one. That was in Palm Springs one day. I walked down the boulevard and look across the street, and I see this 6, 7 little naked old ladies laying on the lawn. And I was wondering, what the heck is that? So I went in the house, knocked on the door, said, sir, you had little ladies laying out on the lawn. He says, I know. He says, those are retired prostitutes they have in the garage sale. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Phoenix, hello.